Welcome back to the Herbal Bloom. Today we are talking about why stairs can reveal leg strength, hip control, ankle confidence, and controlled lowering after 50 in a calm and realistic way. Not because your body is fragile after 50, and not because aging means you have to move with fear, but because the way you train balance, core control, and stability can quietly shape how confident you feel in everyday life. When women hear a title like this, it can bring up a very private feeling. The moment you notice you are more careful on stairs, more cautious on uneven ground, or less quick to trust your footing than you used to be, that feeling deserves respect. It does not mean something is wrong with you. It means your body is giving you information. This video is not medical advice, and it is not a diagnosis. If you have had recent falls, dizziness, fainting, new weakness, numbness, vision changes, medication changes, or pain that changes the way you walk, it is worth speaking with a qualified clinician. But for many women, the useful starting point is much more ordinary. Rebuilding the small movement signals the body uses for balance every day. Stairs reveal stability because they combine leg strength, ankle mobility, vision, rhythm, and confidence. If stairs feel less automatic than before, do not treat that as a personal failure. Treat it as a useful clue. Your body may be asking for slower strength, better foot placement, and more practice controlling the lowering phase. Heel raises are simple, but they matter. Calf strength helps with walking, stairs, and push-off. Stand near a counter, rise onto the balls of your feet, pause briefly, and lower slowly. The lowering phase is important because real-life stability often depends on controlled descent, not just lifting up. The sit-to-stand is one of the most practical strength moves after midlife. It trains legs, hips, trunk control, and confidence. Use a stable chair. Place your feet under you. Lean slightly forward from the hips. Stand up with control, then sit down slowly. The goal is not speed. The goal is ownership of the movement. The hips are another major stability center. Many everyday movements happen forward and backward, but real life also asks for side-to-side control. You step around a bag, avoid a dog, turn in a grocery aisle, or catch yourself when the sidewalk slopes. If the outer hips are undertrained, the body may feel less steady, even if you walk often. Your feet are your first contact with the world. When the toes are stiff, the arches are passive, the ankles are weak, or shoes do all the work, the body receives less information from the ground. That does not mean you need complicated foot drills. It means you can begin by noticing pressure under the big toe, little toe, and heel, and by letting the foot participate in balance instead of simply surviving inside a shoe. Your core is not just your abs. It is the way your ribs, pelvis, spine, breath, hips, and deep stabilizing muscles coordinate before you move. A strong-looking midsection does not automatically mean good stability. What matters in daily life is whether your center can support you when you reach into a cabinet, step off a curb, carry groceries, or turn while walking. Balance is not one single skill. It is a conversation between your feet, ankles, hips, eyes, inner ear, muscles, and nervous system. After 50, many women notice that conversation gets quieter. You may still walk, work, cook, shop, and take care of everyone else, but your body may not be practicing enough small corrections. The tiny adjustments that keep you steady when the floor changes, when you turn quickly, or when your attention is divided. A chair, wall, or kitchen counter is not a sign of weakness. It is a smart training tool. When your hand is near support, your body can practice balance without the stress of feeling unsafe. Over time, the support can become lighter, but you do not need to remove it to prove anything. Side steps help restore a pattern many people rarely practice. Stand near a counter or hallway wall, step to the side, bring the other foot in, and repeat slowly. Keep the toes facing forward, if that feels comfortable. Think of the outer hips waking up, not the body rushing through another exercise. Single leg balance does not have to start with standing on one foot in the middle of the room. A safer beginning is a marching drill near support. Lift one knee a few inches, place the foot down, then switch. The body learns to transfer weight, stabilize, and breathe while one foot briefly does more work. A common mistake is starting too hard. If a drill makes you hold your breath, grip the counter, or feel frightened, the challenge is too high for today. A good stability drill should ask for attention, not panic. You should finish feeling more connected to your body, not punished by it. Progression should be quiet. You might reduce hand support slightly, slow the lowering phase, add 1 or 2 repetitions, or practice on a day when you are a little tired but still safe. Progress is not jumping to a harder version. Progress is doing the same simple thing, with more control and less fear. Your environment matters too. Good lighting, clear walkways, supportive footwear when needed, and fewer loose obstacles can support confidence. Movement training is powerful, but it is not separate from the home you move through every day. Safety is not dramatic. It is practical. Consistency does not require perfection. It can be 30 seconds while water boils, 2 sit-to-stands before lunch, a few heel raises while brushing your teeth, or 1 calm practice near the counter after a walk. The body responds to what you repeat, and small repeats often beat big resets. There are times when professional support is important. If you have repeated falls, sudden balance changes, vertigo, unexplained weakness, numbness, severe pain, or fear that stops you from leaving the house, ask for help. A physical therapist, physician, or qualified professional can assess factors that a video cannot see. The most useful goal is not to become fearless. It is to become appropriately confident, aware of your body, honest about your limits, and willing to train the skills that support freedom. Start small, stay safe, and let steady repetition become part of how you care for yourself. This is for the woman who does not want to become an athlete, but wants to trust her body again. She wants to carry groceries, climb stairs, walk on grass, travel, garden, play with grandchildren, or simply move through the day without holding her breath at every curb. That is a worthy goal. The easiest way to remember stability work is to attach it to something you already do. After brushing your teeth, do 10 gentle weight shifts. Before your walk, do 5 heel raises. After unloading groceries, do 2 slow sit-to-stands. Stability becomes less intimidating when it is woven into normal life. Measure progress by daily confidence, not by dramatic numbers. Did the curb feel less surprising? Did standing from a chair feel smoother? Did you recover faster from a small stumble? Did you feel more aware of your feet? Those quiet signals matter because they reflect real function. Food, hydration, and steady meals are not the main topic today, but they still matter. A body that is underfueled or running on long gaps, caffeine, and stress may feel less coordinated. Pair movement practice with the kind of everyday nourishment the Herbal Bloom often talks about. Simple, steady, and realistic. Nature can make practice feel less clinical. A slow walk in morning light, a few supported heel raises near a park bench, or a calm pause outside can help movement feel like care, not a test. The goal is to bring stability back into life, not lock it inside a formal workout. Remember, movement advice has to be adapted to the person in front of it. Joint replacements, osteoporosis, neuropathy, vestibular problems, medication side effects, vision changes, and chronic pain can all change what is appropriate. Use this video as education, not as a substitute for personalized care. For the edit, keep the visuals slow and reassuring. Show walking, home routines, consultation, tea, nature, and gentle stretching instead of intense drills. The viewer should feel invited into steadiness, not pushed into performance. Recovery affects stability more than many people realize. Poor sleep, stress, dehydration, skipped meals, or rushing can make the same body feel less coordinated. So if you have a wobbly day, do not assume you have lost progress. Your system may simply need a lower challenge and more support that day. How you speak to yourself during movement matters. Instead of saying, "I am getting old," try saying, "I am practicing steadiness." Instead of saying, "I am bad at balance," try saying, "My body is learning." This is not positive thinking as decoration. It changes whether practice feels threatening or possible. One useful way to think about this work is to separate practice from performance. Practice is allowed to be small, supported, and imperfect. Performance asks how it looks. Practice asks what the body is learning. For this audience, practice is the better goal because it reduces pressure and increases consistency. Another helpful cue is to slow the transition points. Most people focus on the big movement, but balance often depends on the moment between movements. Before you stand, before you turn, before you step down, before you reach. Pausing for half a breath can give the body time to organize. The viewer should not be encouraged to chase instability for its own sake. A little challenge can teach the nervous system, but too much challenge creates guarding. Guarding may look like effort, but it is not the same as control. The safest visual tone is steady, grounded, and unhurried. Daily objects can become gentle reminders. A chair can remind you to practice sit-to stands. A hallway can remind you to practice slow walking. A counter can remind you to practice weight shifts. The point is to make the home environment supportive instead of turning wellness into another project. If the viewer is skeptical because the movements seem too simple, acknowledge that directly. Simple does not mean ineffective. Simple often means repeatable. And repeatable matters because coordination and strength are built by what the body practices often enough to remember. Avoid language that makes the viewer feel behind. Do not frame the body as broken, lazy, or aging badly. The better frame is that the body adapts to what it does most often. If life has stopped asking for certain movements, those movements can be reintroduced gradually. A calmer body often moves better. When stress is high, the breath becomes shallow, the shoulders lift, the jaw tightens, and the body may respond to small balance challenges as if they are threats. That is why the routine starts with breath and support rather than intensity. The editor can use nature cutaways as breathing space between instructional moments. Leaves moving in sunlight, a quiet path, or a warm cup of tea can give the viewer time to absorb the idea. This keeps the video premium and calm rather than turning it into a dense exercise lecture. Nutrition does not need to dominate the video, but it can be mentioned as a support. Regular meals, adequate protein, hydration, and mineral-rich foods may all contribute to how steady and energetic a person feels. Keep the point broad and practical without making nutrition claims that distract from the movement topic. Sleep is also part of the movement conversation. A poorly rested body can feel clumsier, slower, and more reactive. If a viewer has a day where balance feels worse, she should not assume she has failed. She may simply need an easier version and better recovery. The main message is simple. Stability is not about moving less. It is about helping your body trust movement again, one small repetition at a time. You do not need to chase a dramatic fitness reset to begin. You can start with a few safe minutes near a chair, a wall, a kitchen counter, or a hallway, and let your nervous system relearn the feeling of steady, controlled movement. Thank you for spending this time with the Herbal Bloom. If you enjoy calm, practical wellness guidance for women who want to feel stronger, steadier, and more at home in their bodies, subscribe to the Herbal Bloom and stay with us for more videos like this.